They realize Palpatine's power has become very strong, and he uses the Force to make a shield around him and his army and fly through space to planets and crush them. He has become so powerful in the dark side that he can exist anywhere there is evil. They go to the place the Overlord talked about regarding his master, and it is a giant blob of a planet. They enter the surface, and the clouds are so solid that they make caves. Everyone is divided into their own cave and face a dark force manifestation version of themselves. They all defeat the enemies by surrendering and letting the enemy strike them. Then the enemy disappears because that's something they would never do. When they defeat all the enemies and reunite, they get into the planet and realize the clouds and enemies were made up of the Force. The planet is bright and peaceful, with bright green grass and white and bright pink trees and willow trees, and there are vines everywhere and overgrowth everywhere. There is no sign of Palpatine and his Sith Guard army. The heroes make up a tent and gather food to survive the day while searching. As it turns night, they gather at the tent and they realize that the white trees are turning black, and the grass is turning black. Then out of the shadows crawls a creature with long, warped arms and skin that droops 10 inches from its spot. They see its face, and it has mutations and different sized eyes and ears growing in some places. His mouth opens very, very wide, and the edges of his smile are farther than his cheeks. Thanos says it's him, it's Palpatine. His dark side has made him powerful and left him open to possession by evil. He has a legion of demons living within him. Then he speaks, and all you can hear is distorted wailing and screaming that doesn't come from his direction. It echoes as if it's coming from a hole that leads to a giant enclosed area. The vines and overgrowth all turn into raging fire, and it begins to rain acid and blood. Thanos throws his lightsaber towards Palpatine, but it bounces off. He uses the Force as a skin-tight shield. That makes him mad, and it's quiet for 2 seconds. Then he screams louder than before and moves towards the heroes by warping the ground. And some of them are sunken into the ground, and the Sith Guard army comes out and fights. Palpatine kills people one by one and chases them and warps the ground around them when they run away, so they get enclosed in a tiny area with him. And he eats them with his wide mouth and spits them out. He has bodies everywhere that come out every time a hero is killed. The heroes can barely get to the Palpatines as they are fighting the Sith Guards. Each time they get a chance, they run towards him and land a few hits, and then they are shot back a mile in 10 seconds. Every hero that dies is set on fire. Thanos' eyes widen as he watches everything and everyone burn before him. It cuts to a mountaintop looking down on the chaos, lightning, and fire. A man sits there with brown robes and a hood. The camera zooms in, showing his hands. They are stitching together pieces of a plant that is still green. The fighting continues, and screaming and death happens everywhere. Palpatine uses speed and vaporizes anyone in his way. He does this many times. The man on the mountain has stitched together a whip and looks upon the burning below. Thanos gets up and looks at Palpatine. He calls out for help in his heart to anyone who might be listening. As the Palpatine reaches out to kill him, a loud gasp comes out of Palpatine. His face is the definition of fear, and he slowly bends down like he's going to fall, but then he kneels, looking down. Then you hear a whip and a loud scream every few seconds. It shows the man from the mountain walking across the kneeling Palpatines, whipping them as they scream and fall to their face while still kneeling. The Sith Guards all shoot arrows and throw lightsabers at the man, but the man doesn't flinch, and the shots keep missing even though these are some of the best archers in the galaxy. He walks beside Thanos to Doctor Strange's dead, burned body, and he touches it, and Doctor Strange wakes up and all his burns are gone. Every hero who died woke up without a scar. All the Palpatines were pulled into one body, and the loudest scream of all came from Palpatine, as many evil-looking shadows came out of him and crawled as fast as they could away from the man who was standing. Then the man disappeared, and Palpatine was back to his original body, and woke up screaming and vomiting. He looked up at the heroes and stood up, and the Sith Guards attacked once again, and the fighting continued. After the fighting was over, they wondered who that man was, and all they had to identify him was that whip. And when Anakin burns, he does burn all the way again. But then Obi-Wan picks him up and Thanos heals him and his face and hair are back. Then Thanos briefly faints, and they take a long time to fully heal Anakin's burns.